Today I want to check with you the overall market's scope to have a macro scope, a macro view of the markets to see what can we expect for the following weeks and maybe months, and see what are the general perspectives with all the turmoil that we are having right now. So let's to make this short, let's start quickly with the DXY, with the dollar index, because yeah, we know that the dollar is quite an important uh, thing to check, because it moves the other assets. So here we have the daily dollar chart. As we can see, I marked for you here that we've been in this range for 2 years. So this range comes from December 2022, and we are still here in this range. So we went down recently. We went down here to this level, and a lot of people were thinking, okay, we're gonna break to the downside, and then we are gonna go lower, and then we are gonna leave the 100 mark, and then we are going to go lower to next levels like this, for instance. Well, but that didn't happen. Why it didn't happen? Because we've seen the recent data for the U.S. economy that is being quite positive for the economy. So the the job market is not weakening too much. And yesterday we had the inflation data, the CPI for the month, and the year CPI, and then it came higher than expected. So it means inflation still there, which means, well, as we know, in September the Fed cut interest rates by 50 base points. Probably it was too much. They will have to adjust this. So that's what markets are seeing now, that in the next meeting they might they at the beginning they thought that they would cut again 50 points, but it looks like now they are only going to cut 25 points, and that's why the market is reacting to the upside. So that's why the dollar is reacting to the upside. And if the situation is that the inflation is still too high, they might consider not even cutting rates at this time. Then this will take the dollar even higher up. So we have here two important things. So here we have these trend lines going down, and then we might touch these trend lines. This is light blue is daily trend line, and dark blue is a weekly trend line. So we might touch these trend lines and then go down, and we can even come here to touch the top of the range. That at the moment looks unlikely, but since we don't know, really we don't know, because the same we said here, that it was very likely that we break to the downside, but at the end we didn't. So we don't know. So we might stay here, we might go to the middle of the range, we might go to the trend lines, or we might go all the way up to the top of the range. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, and how is this influencing the market? So let's quickly go to the markets before we go. I know, guys, that you are waiting for Bitcoin, but let's quickly check the other things, because I think it's important to have an overall view of the market. So how is this influencing the market? So, well, a lot of people would say, oh, the dollar is going up, so the market should go down. No, well, the thing is that since jobs are going up, so job creation is still strong, and inflation is going up, it means people still have money to spend. So companies are, that's why the stock market is rising. So companies are saying, oh, okay, the people are still fine, they have jobs, they have the inflation is high, so then we are doing well, we are on a perfect path. So that's why you can see here that the indices, the S&P 500 has just recently, literally yesterday, has made a recent high, so a all-time high. So here we broke from this. This blue line was my previous weekly resistance level. We broke it. Look, we broke it. We took support on it, and then we went up. So we are going high, 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 low, high, high. Might have a high, low here, and then we are still going to the upside. The same goes for the US 30, the Dow Jones. Well, we didn't here. We broke the previous weekly resistance. We broke we went up. We are starting a range here, and then we had this top, and we are trying to break up this top. So I told you, like, I don't know if last video or 2 videos ago, I told you that it was very likely that the indices were going to blow off the tops, and then we'll see if we come down here or not. We have to see. But at the moment, they are blowing off the top. So the S&P 500, as we see here, well, to be on a bearish case, then we need to break to the downside again this previous weekly high, weekly now support. If we break here to the downside, then we will go into this range that we had previously here before. So the US Dow Jones, the US 30, the same case. So if we break down here, here we have we can mark here we have a little bit of a range, a small range that with liquidity here. So if we break to the downside this area, then we might go to this next area, and then we can establish a bearish case. But at the moment, it's still looking strong. Nasdaq, well, Nasdaq was the weakest, sorry, of the indices. So we can see here that Nasdaq went all the way down here, and then found support down here again. So establish a bigger range, and then it hasn't managed to break up the previous weekly resistance level, but it is trying. We can see here that we are putting higher highs and higher lows. So here we have our lowest low, then we have here a higher high, higher low, high, higher low. So here we are going clearly to the upside. So probably a few days we're gonna form here a high low and then try to regain this top. We'll see. It looks like that. If the economic data is coming strong, it will be like that. Now, it is important. I wanted to before we go to crypto. Well, I wanted to show you the dollar, the gold, because with gold is happening something strange, and we can use this as a contrast to Bitcoin. Right. So as we see, as we saw, 2 minutes ago, that dollar is going up, then gold started to go down. However, didn't go down as deep as one might expect, because, well, with that sudden increase of the dollar, that rise of the dollar, then you would say, okay, the gold is going to collapse. Well, the thing here is that we have another important factor. Okay? We have all the geopolitical tensions, the war in the Middle East, the war in Ukraine. This is all affecting the gold. So because we can from the information is coming on the economic news, we know that governments are buying gold. So to protect against this instability of the wars, they are buying gold. So, and then investors are also following that. So we can see here that gold still very strong, even though we have a strong dollar. We still the gold still strong, because generally you have with the inverse situation. When dollar goes up, gold goes down, and vice versa. But here we can see that dollar is going up and gold still going up. So not going too low, and even now bouncing back. So even now it's going up again. So, and this is because there's a huge investment in gold at the moment because governments and investors are seeing this a refuge as a hedge for their wealth. So, and governments as a hedge for their currencies. So that's why gold is very likely. Well, we'll see. We have here our resistance area. We'll see if gold goes to this resistance area and what happens here. We have to see if here around this resistance area we form structure, and then we shot up to the breaking this weekly resistance level, or if we have a rejection and then we come here again to establish a range around here. So we have to keep an eye on that, but at the moment it looks like we can continue up and test these levels. Right, now let's go to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, on the other hand, Bitcoin is reacting more to what's going on with the dollar. So we can see that the dollar is going up and Bitcoin is going down. So Bitcoin started to go down, and then we established just yesterday this lower low. We went down to 58,800, and then now we started to bounce back because it looks like the dollar is gonna give a bit of relief, and then Bitcoin is taking this opportunity to go up. So here, interesting to notice for Bitcoin. So we have this here. We have the support and resistance levels, weekly support and resistance levels. So our previous weekly high, previous weekly low, and here we have a triangle, a very important formation. Triangles are quite powerful. Triangles, because the price is compressing. So when it explodes to the upside or to the downside, it is a big move. So we have to keep an eye what is Bitcoin going to do. So I mark for you here the current support level, which is established yesterday, and the previous, well, we have here this resistance level, but I think this is more important. This is more extreme resistance level. So we have these two levels, and this goes in line with this trend line. So if we come here up, we test this trend line and we break this trend line, like, okay, let me draw it for you guys. Sorry, I'm just pointing without drawing. So let's say we come up here and then we break this trend line. We find support on this trend line and we break this resistance level, then we are really aiming for a new all-time high. That would be the bullish case, right? That's bullish case. But on the other hand, here we can see that here we have some fair value gaps. By the way, this is an indicator that you can, there are lots of indicators in TradingView that you can pull out, and then they are very good to find fair value gaps, and then you don't have to bother drawing them yourself. So I use this one because it's very clean. I like it. It's quite clean. The fair value gaps are not too long, because sometimes you have the fair value gaps like this one, like extending from here all the way here, and your chart will look cluttered. So anyway, so if we come just up here to fill in these fair value gaps, and then we go down, so if we do something like this, and then we find rejection here, and we start to come down, and then we break this trend line to the downside and do something like that, then we are going for this level. We are going to test the 50K level. So we have these two scenarios at the moment. So bullish case, bearish case. So we have to keep an eye, even in this range, what do we do? So yeah, we can, as I said before, we could probably even restrict it to something more like this. If you want, we can restrict the range a little bit more like this, and then see if we break and then we go to this level, or we stay here and then we come down again. So we have to see, keep an eye on these two important levels for Bitcoin. So, and then we can see quickly what's going on here with the alts, what we have a perspective for the alts. So if we see here Bitcoin dominance plus Ethereum dominance plus USDT dominance plus USDC dominance. So basically all the other guys that are not alts. Then we can see here that they were going up. That's why alts were suffering, but now they started to go down. So it looks like alts might have a little bit of a comeback. So it looks like alts might have probably a couple of nice weeks again to go up again. So because here we have a down trend line, and then it looks like we might go and test these levels. So then we can see if we have a little bit of a down pressure here, and then the alts will have a little bit of a comeback, right? We are still very high on the look. We are still on the high part of the dominance of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stablecoins. So to be really in a alt season, we need to see something like this coming down, and going low. Below this level, the 75%. But at the moment, well, it looks like Bitcoin was dominating, went all the way up to 82%, now started to come down a little bit. Here we can see, we can mark here, we establish a range around here. Look, we establish a range here, and then we've been within this range, so you can say that roughly right here in this range. So let's see if this breaks to the downside, and then we will have an alt season, or if we go up again, then we will have a more Bitcoin dominance, and the alts will suffer again. So here, let's check. Lastly, let's check quickly Ethereum. So Ethereum, as I said, so Ethereum, you can see that Ethereum is a bit more punished, so not like Bitcoin. So Ethereum came from the previous high in March, then it's come down quite a lot, so we can measure it. So we came all the way down. We came down 50%, 49.6%. So it came down 50%, and from this level it started to recover, and then but we've been in this range, so and it hasn't really recovered too much. We have again, like with Bitcoin, we have this triangle here, so pay attention. Here is the range. I mark the range here. Pay attention if we break to the downside or if we break to the upside. The same thing as with Bitcoin. So we know that it will follow, generally Ethereum will follow Bitcoin, but if Ethereum starts to be stronger, then it's a good sign for the alt. So, well, please let me know what do you think, if you want me to check something special, and yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a like if you like my analysis, and I'll see you in the next one.